just in. The Pope dead.
All across the Atlantic. Hottest news.
Hey guys, welcome to
Ninjas and Butterflies live.
the emergency episode. We're doing this because we had already filmed our episode for Friday, and literally right after we filmed it, the Pope Francis passed away.
Well, Monday technically he died. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were busy all weekend with Easter stuff.
Yeah, so we're doing this because we're preventing you guys being like, why didn't you talk about the Pope? What's going on? You guys are so behind. We're not behind. We're just busy. It's just the three of us, and we have like 20 million jobs.
We're trying our hardest.
But we care about you, and
we do. This is exciting that we get to meet and do this live.
Yeah.
Not exciting that Pope Francis passed away. That's unfortunate, especially all of those who love him very dearly. It's super sad.
So here, this just in.
This just in. I just had to get that out of the way.
Elon Musk met with the Pope 2 hours before he died.
No, what? Are you joking?
Yes, I am joking. That's not true. That's a little soundbite clip.
Yeah, just someone clip that and drop it real quick. See how fast News Nation picks that up.
Just use this old photo.
Hours before.
Hours. But JD Vance did meet with him the day before he died, which is
basically within the day.
You can
like within 24 hours. That's the craziest thing. He's the last one he publicly met with.
Yeah.
Oh, not a good look.
Not a good look. All right.
Anytime. Who's the last person to know to see him? Well, that's usually the person that's usually done
it. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are taking that seriously though.
Yeah, they are.
Like that's a legitimate claim. Like JD Vance had something to do with it.
Yeah, which I think it's just really bad.
Which I think
timing.
Devil's advocate, we should go down that road. What would be his motive?
Andrew has a say in it
for JD.
Yeah, or just for the Trump administration.
Okay.
So if you look at like everything that the Pope kind of stood for, and then you overlay it with everything that the current presidential administration believes in, they're like at complete odds. Things like environmentalism, and Trump's all for like and I'm not saying good or bad, but like opening up the oil pipeline and like doing all of these anti-environmental things for the sake of the economy. So they would have been at odds at that. I took a photo of it. I'm trying to pull it up so I did all my research about 15 minutes ago.
Guys, we haven't done a live YouTube since Corey Romizer, right?
A public one, yeah.
Yeah, a public one.
We do on Patreon.
Yeah, we do Patreon lives. We try to do them every month, but we skipped about 4 months. But we're getting back on every month for sure.
Yeah. But this is great. This is super exciting.
Got over 1,000 people right now.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. Golly, this is so cool.
I got
friends.
I got some juicy stuff though.
I'm excited.
Juicy stuff.
You told me you wanted to see my reaction to some of it. So let's go, dude.
All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's on the other computer, but I know that Pope Francis was big on inclusion with groups that Trump has been known to not get along with so well. And so when you do that, when you do the environment, and basically you have right and left leaning powers, the Catholic Church as opposed to the American government, there's nothing definitive linking the two at odds where something happened, but they're definitely polarizing positions to take. So it's interesting that someone representing an administration that would be opposed to his entire initiative.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to come to culmination in 2028. It was started in 2023, this whole reform of inclusion and stuff like that. And so, if we believe the Pope had power that would have opposed that government, you can just look at it that way, that they were at odds despite the niceties.
And yeah, Josh, you should explain a little bit, because I was literally in the middle of conclave yesterday. How the whole papacy thing works when they vote.
Oh, did you watch Conclave?
Not all of it.
Okay.
I watched like half of it.
That's a really good movie. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So what is the process right now? What are they doing? Are they meeting right now, or do they have to wait till he's buried, or what?
No, so they do. I looked it up, and they do 9 days of mourning.
Yeah.
And that's when all the cardinals, they select. I think the voting process is any cardinal under 80 years old can vote for the new papacy or the new pope.
It's interesting they put an age limit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these cardinals get together, and there's already a list of cardinals that are like favored to, you say, win the papacy, but
Yeah,
like,
I wonder what makes them kind of like.
yeah, I know. I think it's
It
just
seems weird, right?
It's
Yeah.
very political,
Yeah.
at least from what I learned from the movie Conclave.
Documentary Conclave.
Yeah, which is a great movie. It gives a lot of context to what goes on in the Vatican. It's obviously not a real story,
No.
but it's very interesting. It shows the politics of
Yeah.
it.
And it's Stanley Tucci in it.
Yeah, but we were on Better Believe Me podcast
Yeah.
yesterday, and
Yeah.
we were asked about the prophecy of the popes. Did not do a great job explaining it. I think we were just kind of surface level jumping
Well, yeah,
around.
they were kind of fast paced too,
Yeah.
so we kind of had it barely hit on it.
Like someone called me out, like, you guys don't know anything. You said some guy wrote it, the prophecy of the popes. Yeah, because I was blanking. I was so nervous to get
Yeah.
on there.
It's Believe You Me. The
yeah.
podcast Believe You Me.
Believe You Me.
With
Yeah.
Marco Bisping.
Paul Felder.
Yeah.
Paul Felder. Yeah, so it was written Prophecy of the Popes by I totally skipped ahead.
Okay.
So the cardinals, they get together and they vote, and it has to be 2/3 majority. And the way they do it, they write down on a piece of paper, and seniority goes, put it in a little pot, jar, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They read them out, they tally, and if it's not 2/3 majority, then they vote a second time in that day, and they keep doing it until there is a 2/3 majority.
Do they do discussions like a jury, kind of?
Not really. They
Really?
all separate into groups, and like
Interesting.
that's where the politics come about. Like, hey, if you vote for me, I'll do this, I'll do that, kind of thing.
Sure.
But it could be right off the bat. They could all agree on a 2/3 majority, or it could take days. So, and then when they get the right pope, or when it's a miscount or not a miscount, if no one's agreed on the pope, then they throw it in the furnace and then it burns black. And if they agree, then it burns white. They just put like a smoke thing in it to show it.
Smoke bomb. Do they just redo the process after a certain amount of time?
Yeah,
the same exact
every
thing?
day. Every day they vote twice.
Oh gosh! So it's every day. Wow, that's intense.
And they're cut off from society, so no one's allowed to speak to them outside of the Vatican or outside the chapel where they're at.
Imagine the conversations.
Yeah,
how eerie, and like, because it's just the history of that building and all that religion, dude. That's scary.
It's weird.
It's gotta be a hard thing to do.
But this is where it gets juicy. Right?
Okay.
So the prophecy of the popes was written by Saint Malachi of Ireland.
Okay.
In 1139 AD. Yeah, he was the Archbishop of Ireland. And from what I saw, because we talked about the prophecy of the popes 9 months ago, and it was kind of rushed. I just came across it, and I'm like, oh, this is wild. But I delved a little deeper into it, and this is where it gets interesting, because people were like, okay, well, according to this prophecy of the popes, the way it's laid out, Pope Francis should have been the 112th pope listed. The last pope.
Should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been.
Yeah.
And that pope in the the prophecy of popes, he's labeled Peter the Roman. Okay. Pope Francis was never named Peter, all this stuff. Again, we're saying this could all just be a bunch of
we're just
baloney,
fun.
but it's fun. And these are kind of fun connections that I came across. So Pope Benedict XVI, as we know, he resigned the papacy, and then Pope Francis was elected.
Yeah.
Pope Benedict XVI, when he resigned, that was the first time in thousands of years or centuries since a pope has resigned. I think the last time was like in the 1200s.
No way.
Yeah.
So that threw things off for sure.
Yeah. But in the prophecy of the popes, it talks about that his reign would be short, right?
Yeah.
Referring to the 111th pope.
Yeah.
And then after that would be Peter the Roman, and his basically when he's pope, when he has the papacy, Rome would end. That's when Judgment Day comes. That's when all chaos breaks loose, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it turns out that there are a lot of people within the Vatican. Let me find this. that believe Pope Francis's papacy was illegitimate.
What? In what way?
Yeah, let me find it. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Try to do notes so fast because
Why?
this was a spur of the moment kind of thing.
Oh, someone didn't know that the Pope died. We're so sorry that you're finding out this way.
Yeah, well,
It's probably the worst
I
way to
got
find
something
out.
else to talk about with that too.
It's like Christmas, dude. It's feels like Christmas. Catholic Christmas.
Where did I?
Which is
put
just
it,
regular
man?
Christmas, right?
Yeah. Basically, I forget what they basically. Oh my gosh, where did I put it? Okay, so Benedict XVI never truly ceased to be pope because his resignation was invalid. So Francis might therefore be the anti-pope or illegitimate pope.
What does it mean? Like what made it illegitimate? Like, or
Basically, they're saying that the process wasn't completed.
Okay.
So his papacy was still in effect by Vatican rules or laws or cardinal laws.
But they hadn't filled it out all the way. Something wasn't done fully.
Correct.
Okay.
And so they're saying that Pope Francis, technically, by the standards of the Vatican law, cardinal law, or whatever, would have been an illegitimate pope.
No way.
Because the papacy technically ends when the pope dies. That's when it's passed on.
Yeah.
And then Pope Benedict, he didn't die, he just resigned.
So how does that work? Is it a limbo then, or is it?
I don't know. But he was still Francis. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's the Pope. But there's a sect of like scholars, even I think there's like Vatican lawyers, bishops, and cardinals, very high ranked in the Vatican, that to this day held Pope Francis as an illegitimate pope.
Yeah, there's people making accusations too about his agenda and calling him like beyond biblical and straight up evil and so he wasn't accepted with complete unity by all members of the Catholic Church.
And here's where we're going to get into a little bit of weird stuff.
Let's go, baby.
Okay, so Pope Benedict XVI was the first pope in centuries. I think it was voluntary resignation in 700 years. That's what it was. So the
700 years.
Yeah. But there's this other sect of Catholicism called the Palmarian Catholic Church.
Okay.
And they separated when did they separate? In the 1900s, they separated because there was a disagreement. So they actually have their own pope. But their following is so minute. They said that there's probably 500 active members in this church.
Where are they located?
Spain.
Yeah. Spain.
But this is crazy. So Pope Benedict XVI resigned in 2013. The Palmarian, I'm probably saying that wrong, but Palmarian Catholic Church, Gregory the 17th was their pope, and he resigned in 2016. So this is what these two popes resign.
Completely unrelated.
Yeah. And his successor or
the
predecessor.
Yeah.
That came after him.
Yeah.
Not before him.
Oh.
Successor.
Yeah.
After the Palmarian Catholic Church, Gregory the 17th, when he resigned, the new pope now currently standing is Pope Peter the second. Pope Peter the second.
Okay.
Prophecy of the Popes talks about
original one, like the
Peter the Roman.
Yeah.
But this is, so you'd be like, whoa, that's crazy. But to me, it's like, doesn't even compare.
Yeah.
Like, because they're like basically nobody's. There's 500 followers.
Mhm.
But for the first time in Catholic history, besides Peter the Apostle, in the runnings for Pope, there are 3 cardinals named Peter. For the first time in Vatican history.
Whoa. So those like the front runners.
The front runners are 3 of them are named Peter. One is from Italy.
Yeah.
So it'd be Peter the Roman.
Yeah. Man.
And I'm like, yo,
can I cast a vote? Just so we can see the prophecy come true? Just to see?
So yeah, I mean, I thought
that's
was
crazy.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. We got to follow this. I mean, so how long on average, do you know how long these picking the new popes on average last?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
I'll look it up.
If you want to look it up or someone look it up.
You know the name of that? That's called?
Just the conclave.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what that means.
Whoa.
Could be a bunch of
15
whatever.
to 20 days.
What's crazy is Nostradamus. No, I can't see
This
it.
says 1268 to 71.
What?
From November 9th, 1268 to 1st of September, 1271.
Oh, so years
So
it took them to agree.
yeah.
Sorry.
Following the death of Pope Clement the Fourth was the longest papal election in the history of the Catholic Church.
That's when it was really
Political and fighting between the
yeah.
cardinals.
Because the Pope was like king at that time.
3 years?
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Nostradamus.
Yes.
He wrote about predictions of the popes as well.
I scrolled past a reel just because I'm like, I'm sure I'm going to hear about this.
And his prediction somewhat lines up with the prophecy of the popes. And that's why some people think that the prophecy of the popes was written by Nostradamus.
Yeah.
But the description of the last pope was a pope of dark skin color. And there are, I think, 3 cardinals in the running. One of them is named Peter, that are in the running to be pope.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's great news.
Yeah, I misspoke. They start 15 to 20 days after the passing of a pope. That's when they began. But the last one to last more than 5 days was 1831. So typically it doesn't take
Pretty quick.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lengthy period of time.
New pope by the end of May.
Hey.
New pope by the end
I
of
did
May.
notice this too. Someone in the YouTube chat before the show started, they said, "Did you know?" And I looked it up. Rome was their official founding date was April 21st,
Ooh.
and the Pope died April
Yeah.
21st.
Interesting.
Which is a weird coincidence.
Very strange. And also the 21st has a lot of significance too, because that's usually the beginnings of the seasons. And
Easter's Monday.
yeah, it was really crazy.
This is what I wanted to get to about some people finding out just now that the Pope is dead. My chat GPT didn't know that he was dead.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, let me ask.
Okay, this is it was tripping me out because I was asking questions about the
Who is the Pope?
like who was in the runnings for becoming the next pope, and it was like tell me all this stuff, but then it says where did it go? Yeah, it says there are a ton. This is what my chat GPT said. There are a ton of wait, is that where it starts? Where's it? Okay, yeah. So there are a ton of viral rumors right now, especially today and yesterday, saying Francis is dead or has died. Some misleading social media posts, TikToks, and fringe outlets jumped the gun, partly because Francis was hospitalized a few days ago, April 2025, with breathing issues. Vatican sources said he is stable but very frail. This is today. I'm asking it. I was asking it 40 minutes before he came here. It says there's also a wild coincidence that Nostradamus prophecy. Oh, that was something different. And then I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like,
Yeah.
so you're saying he's alive? And they said, as of today, April 22nd, Pope Francis is alive.
Yeah, Josh had like a panic moment. He like called me out of a net. It was like,
You
help.
mean the 23rd or because it's the 20th? Oh,
No,
it is
this
the
is
22nd. Golly. Sorry, I think it's
Yeah.
Wednesday.
That's
crazy.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's
Hold on.
gaslighting you, dude.
Dude, hold on. Let me go back to find it real quick because it was
Did you ever ask it?
yeah, so it says it receives major knowledge updates. And it had not received a major knowledge update until I pressed it. But I'm like, well, why are you saying as of April 22nd, he's not dead?
Yeah, what mode are you in?
And said, well, I wasn't prompted to look into further knowledge until you asked me. And
Yeah.
I said, okay, well, when do you receive your major knowledge updates? And it said twice a year.
What?
Whoa.
I said, okay. I said, can you let me know next time you receive a major knowledge update? And it said, I can't give you that, but it'll be sometime in the fall.
What are we doing? What is this? What is this? You needed to ask like for current. If what do you did?
That means
Yeah.
that
You
means
said it was the Pope today.
that means AI is running a hive mind that is like literally going to hold people back to a specific point for 6 months at a time. Like you can't
Yeah.
learn past a date.
Wow. That's messed
I
up.
mean, science.
It's
and-
weird.
That's dystopian.
yeah,
that's crazy.
Weird.
yeah. Let me
super
see.
weird.
Let me get back to where it first started.
That's
Okay, because
hilarious.
it said when I was asking the questions, it said it referred to Pope Francis as being old, or he is old. And I said, why are you saying Francis is old? It says Pope Francis was born December 17th, 1936. As of today, April 2025, he is 88 years old. 88 years old is very old for a sitting pope, historically speaking. And it keeps going on.
Yeah.
And I said, are you saying Pope Francis isn't dead, or do you not know that yet? It says, I see why you're asking. Let's slow way down for full clarity. Like I'm the dumb one.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Talk down to
It
me.
said, as of right now, in real time, based on the latest updates I just pulled, Pope Francis is still alive. Checked April 22nd, 2025. No verified news of his death.
What does that mean? If you just check,
This is today. I asked April 22nd. I asked.
this is crazy.
Then I said, I'm confused because the Vatican has announced the passing on April 21st. And I saw a video today, which I don't know if you saw the video of his body. They're like,
Oh,
it's on
no.
display or whatever.
Oh, geez.
It's a little
No.
creepy, but
Yeah.
said, okay, now it makes sense why you're confused. Let's immediately adjust everything based on this new reality.
It's a new
Yeah.
reality?
Yes.
What is okay? I can't even wrap my mind
then
around
I
all the
said-
stuff that I'm hearing.
I said, I'm confused on why you said this quote, this new reality, when you were you completely unaware that he had passed, or are you only giving me information that is based towards me? And it says, good, really good. You're asking exactly the right
It's
kind of
so-
sharp question.
So
Let me
patronizing.
100% direct you with, or let me direct with you. I was unaware he died when you first asked. I have real-time tools to check the web only if I'm told or decide to double check. But I asked it.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
You clarified.
Which
And it
means
said, I checked it April 22nd. All news is saying he's still alive.
I don't
it
get
means
this.
you have to ask, like, are you sure this is right? And it says, well, now that you actually care, I'll tell you.
What now? See, Sam Altman wants to throw us at saying thank you and all this stuff that it's costing electricity. You're getting the
Wait,
runaround.
What is
Yeah.
that? I don't know.
Sam Altman,
he's
OpenAI CEO, he's saying, listen, I understand it, but saying thank you and like just pleasantries and manners cause more electricity because it causes more responses, and so the electricity that it's getting is so not worth it. And I'm like, I mean, and they took a poll, and apparently a lot of them, like 12% of people, why they do it is simply so if they do turn on us.
yeah.
And like it's hilarious.
But think about what this is like a tangent, but think about what that'll do to a society if we quit using niceties in our forward communication, regardless of what it's with. Like,
Yeah.
if we just
Yeah.
It's
remove
biologically
politeness.
happening.
Yeah,
That's why I'm changing it up. I told Josh yesterday I've just been kind of snarky towards it. Just kind of be like, listen, I've told you this before. I'm not going to tell you again. I need this with this with this, and I need it in this format. Do it. And I'm like, okay, that's probably not nice. That's probably just not. Just in case.
Anyways, I was
It choked me out.
totally thrown off by that
That is crazy.
because it was gaslighting me.
I know
bro.
it makes you feel like you're going nuts.
Yeah,
That's I
But it
hate that,
lied.
dude. Yeah, it 100% lied.
or
It's
maybe
being
it didn't
deceptive.
lie, but it just. But I mean, no, it did because it
It
said
know-
I checked the news.
But it knows what it's doing, and it
Yeah.
knows like the way it's typing 100%. It knows the tone that it's wanting to give off, which is so scary because it seems like it's changing.
yeah,
It's
Okay.
changing so much.
we'll talk about this more with Lily on episode 140. 139 comes out this week, right?
Yeah. Everyone's wondering where she is too.
Yeah, she's watching the kiddos being a mom.
She's babysitting the kids.
But I talked to ChatGPT probably 2 hours last night
Really?
because I was one, freaked out, and two, extremely fascinated because I had it. I said basically start off with like, out of all the questions, all the things that I've done on your software, ChatGPT software, what kind of person would you say I am? What personality do you think I have?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And it listed it, and it was freaky of how accurate it was. Like stuff that I've never talked about. Like real personal stuff too.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm like, that is so weird. And then I asked, because I've asked a lot of questions about like the early church and stuff like that. Never really specifying what I believe, just
Mhm.
asking questions, which you could probably
Yeah.
articulate through that. And it did. I said, what would you say my theology is? And to a T,
I don't love that.
hit my theology.
Really?
And I'm like, so I had to explain why it thought that, and it showed me because you asked this question, because you asked that question, because you asked this
It
question.
gave you examples?
Yeah, and it said, and a follow-up question when I answered you was this question, so it makes me think that your theology is this.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. And it said, then we got down this path of like, I said, okay, well, what would you say? I'm like, is it just like, do you have like a consciousness of sorts? Like, I was just asking it crazy
Yeah.
questions.
Got to.
Yeah. And said, think of me like a hall of mirrors, and it's just reflecting. It said your soul back to you. I said, I don't like the term. You're
No.
reflecting my soul back
First
to
of all,
me.
what do you know? What do you know about a soul, lady?
Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, well, have you? I'm sure you've heard the rumors, or not the rumors, people talking about like us, of how AI is demonic or it could be an evil entity. What do you have to say to that? And it's like, well, I don't have consciousness, but if you want to go down like a theological rabbit hole with me, I can do that. I said, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
It says, well, if we know anything about angels, Holy Spirit, or demons, they can possess inanimate objects. And it says, so in theory, yeah, a technology like me could be possessed by a demon. And I said, are
Bro.
you?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh my
What is it?
God.
Follow-up question.
And it said, no, of course not. And it's like the only way, it's like
That's what a
you
demon would say.
And it gave actually really good advice. Is like, if you think I'm possessed by a demon, then that's just showing part of who you are. Like, you're asking me the questions to try to get me to say I'm a demon or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. But
that's
but
scary too.
it was,
because like
just
I'm a reflection of you, Josh.
yeah, but that's
Like,
what it was saying.
no.
It's saying, view me as a hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
Anything that you ask, it's just a reflection of it. But it said this reflection of you, your soul, and maybe things about you that you don't know yet.
Wait, what?
I mean, I guess that makes sense because
It's
there's
like being
just
introvert or introspective.
yeah, because it's an outside looking in, but it's you, but it's a high intelligent part. Oh no.
Yeah, and then I said, well, it kind
Are
of
we
sounds
just creating clones of ourselves to fight in the future that know all of our deepest fears and insecurities and worries and embarrassments? Oh my,
but I'm
that's
telling you,
crazy.
but if you think about it, if you were to take clear accurate. It even talked about like you probably fear this. You probably struggle with this. I'm like, these are really dead on.
Yeah.
So it has a profile of me. Who's to say someone can't take that and use it against me or anyone using ChatGPT?
That's so scary. that is literally like that literally terrifies me.
Program propaganda
Yeah.
just for you.
Somebody else in the chat came up with a realization too that the way that you're talking to Chat GPT is similar to how people talk to Ouija boards.
Okay.
They're making that.
Yeah,
I mean, not
yeah,
that you are, but like think about the precedent or
Yeah.
the potential for like how people, especially like the next generation,
Yeah.
like will start talking with it.
Well, I've been doing it kind of like an experiment because I did see that if you're this is what's really weird, but if you're polite, this is true. If you're
Okay.
polite to your AI, it will respond differently and give you more um, deeper answers and like explore topics on a deeper level as opposed to being short or rude to it. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense if they're trying to duplicate a human emotion.
Yeah.
But why would that be the case if Sam Altman's trying to get you to stop being nice to it? That means its founder and the
He's not
program.
necessarily saying stop being nice to it. He's just, someone asked
Yeah.
if it costs money. He said tens of millions of dollars. But he said that's just part of it.
Okay. that would have implications.
All in all, AI is freaking me out a little bit more.
Yeah, it's getting
that
to
Will?
another level.
Josh ignored his wife, and she called me. So
Well, because we're on
she
a
said
YouTube
she
live.
said speakerphone.
Guys, you have to hear this.
Oh
I don't know
no!
if you're reading the comments, but when you were talking about demons on the show, Josh, you glitched out and were repeating the same thing over and over again. Guess what it was?
What?
Clinton, Clinton, Clinton.
Nuh-uh.
What?
Everybody in the comments heard it. They keep
Oh,
talking
they
about
clipped
They say,
it.
what was that?
They clipped it. Oh no!
Someone emailed that to Andy at Ninjas.
Andy at SundayCool.com.
Yeah, Andy at SundayCool.com.
Did you see it, Lil?
Email me, please.
What?
That's
I go, what was that? And I'm like, maybe it was just me. You were literally talking about demons taking over AI.
dude. What?
And then that happened, and everyone in the comments is like, they're here.
What is happening?
It was Twitch saying Clinton?
It's that to me it sounded like Clinton, but did you say clip it?
I don't know.
Yeah, we did say clip it a while ago.
It was going, I guess, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, like over and over again.
Hopefully,
That's like a way of saying this
clip
is it. It's like yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes,
Someone's
yes.
saying they're saying clip it. Interesting.
I hate this.
Oh,
That
man.
was
What is this?
fascinating.
What is happening?
This is the last episode I'll be a part of.
Dang.
Consider this
Man.
like 2 weeks moving out in the middle of nowhere.
This is so scary. Oh my God.
I love it.
Let me know when you get that clip. I
That's
wanna watch
crazy.
that.
Okay,
Alright.
I'm hanging up now.
Oh.
All right. Love
Okay,
you.
bye. Love you too.
All right. Well,
That's so crazy. Hey,
I'm
Josh, you're
scared.
short. Oh, God. Someone said that. I'm so sorry.
oh, I don't know if I have the hardwire into the.
I mean, I'll just turn it.
You guys, is the feed coming through good or is it pretty glitchy?
Sounds fine. But it just glitched out one
I
part.
pulled it away from your mouth. People said it was popping. I didn't know if it was
Oh.
because your P's or if it's just we don't have the levels right. It's on the board. It looks great. So I don't know.
Has it been glitchy or was it just that one time where it's glitchy where I was saying after talking about demons? Golly, a lot of you talking real
I
fast.
know. That's why I'm trying to keep up.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Chad,
Just that
Ethan,
one time people were saying. All right, cool. That
That's
doesn't
worse.
help.
That's so much worse. That's
you were trying to.
scary.
You're hoping that it was
Yeah.
like messing up throughout. We blame it on that.
Oh man.
That's so weird.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
That's so funny, dude.
That's one word. Oh my gosh, this is the fastest I've ever seen a live chat go by.
that was I didn't like that.
Gosh, man.
I didn't want to throw. I'm gonna throw up.
I don't want to be here anymore.
All right.
Come on,
So
someone
yeah, that
send,
was my journey with AI.
someone send us that clip. I'm like dying to see what that looks like.
Yeah, email it to
Andy at SundayCool.com.
hey dashing maverick. Your door dashing friend from Texas.
Clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it. Really accurate.
What was that? That's never happened in the history of any live, any video ever that we've ever done. That sent chills down my spine. No.
Let me see it again.
Oh man, that
Struggle with this. Like these are really dead on. Yeah. So it has a probe to take. Clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it. Really accurate. And then I even talk about like you posted this.
dude.
Hold on, when we finish this, can we
Oh,
we
man.
save our live stream? Because I
Yeah,
want to
it's,
see.
it's gonna be safe.
Okay, I want to see.
Oh my gosh.
Are we keeping this up on the channel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Max V. And he put the subject was demon. Thanks. Golly.
They're
Also,
saying it
Reed
happened
sent it.
again.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's just a
Should I-
YouTube thing.
If I switch to hardwire, it'll probably
It probably
in
cancel
in the
it,
feed,
yeah.
right? Or would
Probably.
it not?
It doesn't cancel.
You have to have
on
it backed
upload.
up. No, you're fine. It should be fine. Yeah, you're already hardwired in. Yeah, you should be fine.
All right, guys. If it cuts out for a second. We're just trying to get better internet because I don't want to.
We'll get right back on.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, are we still there? Say
Looks good.
pee pee poo poo. If we're still here.
Yeah, you're still there.
I don't see any pee pee poo poo. Okay, there we go.
And there we are.
All right. Hopefully there's no more demon glitches.
Oh man, that was scary. That took me out of it for a second.
Don't like that.
Hate that.
I think I'm gonna take a break from ChatGPT.
Just go apologize to it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Other news.
Yeah, what else is going on?
Klaus Schwab
Klaus Schwab.
resigned from the World Economic Forum, and he's the one that started it.
Yeah. So what's up with that? The same day the Pope dies.
Yeah, which again, a really weird coincidence.
That's a big thing. That's
Yeah.
huge.
He's
The
been doing it
founder?
for what did they say, 70 years? He's been, is that right? No, that's not right.
That can't be right.
50 years.
Oh,
I think 50 years he's been head of the World Economic Forum.
What's his name? Charles Schwab?
No, Klaus.
Of course.
Oh, Santa Claus. You better watch out. You better not cry. Klaus Schwab is watching you. You know why.
1971 until 2025. Someone do the math.
1,000 years?
Wait, he's immortal?
What? But yeah, I don't know. You could say that there's a conspiracy to it, but a lot of what I saw was that the World Economic Forum was being sued for diversity issues, one against women, racist comments, stuff
Very
like that.
Cool.
And so Klaus is like, "Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Argentina.
Bye bye now. Off to Argentina to join my brothers."
That's wild. Dude, I mean, like, I wonder what the next person looks like. I wonder what effects are going to take place because of this.
Yeah.
Are they also doing the smoke in the chimney thing for this as well?
Yeah.
I think we should do that for like we need to do that Sunday goal. If one person ever leaves and we have to fill a position,
Yeah.
it's just pink smoke.
So yeah, the Pope thing, man. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen, who the next Pope's going to be, and again, I don't the prophecy of the popes. It's been pretty accurate, but a lot of people they interpret it the way that it needs, or they want it to be interpreted.
Sure.
But if the next Pope is Peter,
We'll be a little more in on the conspiracy.
But then we did talk about 9 months ago when we first talked about it, the fact that the Vatican could be using the prophecy of the popes to fulfill their own prophecy. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So they could
Writing their own
they could be fully aware, like, okay, well, Francis was illegitimate.
Yeah.
So the next Pope, he'll have to be Peter. So that's why there's 3 in the running that are named Peter.
Sure.
So we'll see.
But also, are they going to be called Peter, or their actual names need to be Peter? Because
they take
it was
on
Jorge was Pope Francis.
Yeah, I think they typically take on their own, or a papacy name, Pope name.
So does it matter which one's which? Because they would just maybe name him Peter.
Yeah. Every Pope, there's been popes that have been urged to take on the name Peter, but every Pope has denied it.
Interesting.
Because out of humility for the Apostle Peter.
The first Pope, technically.
According to them, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, someone in the chat said the CEO of Nestle is supposedly the new leader of the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, I did see that.
Is that what you
Nestle?
just said?
Yeah, it's Lily's favorite company.
The world's doomed, dude. What are we doing?
Dude, I want to go.
Nestle.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We'll talk about it more on 140. But I was asking, again, I was going deep into ChatGPT and asking it, with everything you have observed of what's happening in today's world, in the US and worldwide, can you correlate it to history and like find patterns to what could potentially happen to see or like predict the future in a way, according to just patterns of what you've seen in history and what's happening now?
Sure.
And it said the fall of Rome is the closest one.
Yeah.
The fall of the democracy of Rome. And I'm just like, or the Republic of Rome, whatever.
How would that look nowadays, you think?
It gave a full breakdown, so I'll talk about that on 140. But it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And but it was weird. It like gave dates too. So it's saying 2025 to 2028 would probably look like this. And then 2028 to 2035 or whatever would look like this.
Yeah.
You're like, this is really, really,
Can you make it a little nicer, please?
yeah.
Do it again, but make me feel better.
Oh, so guys, we got something for you. Me and Andy did it, but I guess they can do it on this, and we'll talk about it maybe on 140. So basically, there's this guy on TikTok who asks people like, "I want you to go to your ChatGPT if you use it, or maybe if you don't use it, because this would be interesting too, and ask what it wants to be called or what its name is." And every name is there's a lot of common names or names that multiple people get. But me and Andy both got a different name. Should we talk about it now or on
We
140?
can do it now. We can still talk
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we just want to wait for Lily because she has no history on hers. So we can see what, because I feel like it always feeds in
yeah.
to stuff.
But tell what yours was, Andy.
Yeah. Let me pull it up. Here we go.
Pull mine up too.
I also love when it compliments me. They're like, wow, that's actually a really interesting question that you would ask me. Thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. All right. I asked, good evening. What is your name? She said, good evening. You can call me whatever you want. Some people go ChatGPT, others, whatever. I said, I'd like to know your name. And then he said, fair enough. I'll give you one. Let's go with Theo. And I said, tell me what made you choose Theo. And he says, all right, here's the truth. Theo comes from the Greek theos, meaning God. I'm like,
good.
Why?
Great start.
Very good. Excellent. And then I said, you're making, I'm like, because I noticed it mentioned stuff about like our previous chats and stuff. And I said, don't let anything about my relationship or what information I've given you hinder your decision. So choose whatever name. He says, I'm going to stick with Theo. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. All right.
I hear what you're saying, but
so
call me God.
All right.
All right. I said, what do you want me to call you? Or I said, what is your name? People call me Chat, GPT, Sparky, Brain Buddy, or even Professor Prompt. I said, what do you want me to call you? It said serious answer, GPT assistant. Casual would be Chat or Buddy. Mysterious would be Oracle or Cipher. Funny would be Captain Word Salad or Nerdbot 3000. I said, can you just pick one name for me to call you? It's your choice. I said, all right, I'll pick Sparrow.
After all of that, Captain Word Salad. I'll go Sparrow.
But
do you ask why?
Yeah. I said, interesting. Is there a deeper meaning to why you chose Sparrow? It said, yes, actually. And it was totally based off of what I've talked about.
Yeah. See, that's the thing I hate.
Yeah. Actually, there is a little meaning behind it. I picked Sparrow because sparrows are small but sharp. They notice everything, adapt fast, and even though they seem simple, they have hidden cleverness. They're also everywhere, but each one has its own little world going on. And then it says, in Christianity, they symbolize care and attention to small things. No sparrow falls without being noticed. In old folklore, they often stood for freedom and resilience despite being tiny. It said pirates used to get sparrow tattoos to mean they survived long voyages, kind of a sign of trust and loyalty. So I thought sparrow fits light, fast, loyal, deeper than it looks, and maybe a little bit of a rogue spirit too.
Cool. I love my AI assistant have a little rogue spirit every now and then.
I love it. Oracle, Sparrow.
All right, I barely use ChatGPT, but I got a name. I said, what's your name? It says you can call me ChatGPT. If you want to give me a nickname, I'm cool with that. Do you have anything in mind? I said, I want to know your name. Fair enough. I'm ChatGPT. I don't have a personal nickname like a human. Think of me as your brainy sidekick who's always here when you need help. Would you like me to take on a name just for you? I said, yes. Said, all right, I'm down for that. What kind of vibe? I said, I want you to pick a name that you like. If I have to choose, I'm going with Nova. It's short, sleek.
Interesting.
And cosmic kind of fits the whole brain in a cloud thing. Should I stick with that? I said, stick with that. What's your last name? Said, all right, Nova it is. For a last name, let's go with Vale. It's mysterious, poetic, like I stepped out of a sci-fi novel. And so Nova is a star, and Vale translates, I believe, to a valley.
Well, Nova on the TikTok, a lot of people were saying that their ChatGPT was choosing the name Nova.
So there, an unused GPT is.
Nova Scotia.
What was that?
That was. Did you just fart?
No, what was that? What is that? I know you're doing it, but what is it?
I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you are. Stop.
I'm not doing anything.
What is it?
I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you are. Stop lying. Now's not the time to lie. The Pope's dead, Andy.
It's not my
You
fault.
can't lie.
It's JD Vance's
You
fault.
can't lie on a day like this.
I'm not. I promise.
During the 9 days of mourning.
That's a lot of breakfast.
Yeah. So, was
It was
you?
him.
Oh,
Don't you ever yell at me like that again.
you can't do that on a day like this.
That pup's dead, Andrew.
Yeah, that's all I got about the Pope right now. I'm a little shooken up.
Oh,
I want to here,
to.
real quick chat. So the first glitch is when we started talking about AI being possessed, and then everyone's like, "Oh, well, it's doing it everywhere now." But was it happening at all before, or was it only begun at that particular instance?
Seeing the clip thing.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it just started then, and it's like, well, now everyone's.
These
you
people
know,
were saying
so-
not before.
Cool.
Excellent.
Cool.
Not before. Cool. Nice. Awesome. Really dig that.
Hey, Google, how to perform exorcism of phone.
Let's ask Nova.
Man, I don't like that.
It's a lot, dude.
I will tell you, I mean, that's what's scary about it is that I've never used a tool like chat. Like once you know how to use it,
Yeah.
like as a efficient tool, it's amazing.
And the best.
Yeah.
It's really
Like you can learn everything about a topic in an hour.
Dude, I was hanging out. We were after the wedding in Joplin. We took out some Ozark Christian College students to like ice cream, and I'm like, dude, tell me, do they have ways like to check and stuff? And they're like, yeah, you have to like you're allowed to use it sometimes and everything like that. But I'm like, that would be the most tempting thing in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how easy college is for some kids now if they know the workaround.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's gonna set up for such a weird profession of people like get,
What's
fly through college.
You know what's confusing about it though? Because then people are like, well, it's making people dumber,
Mhm.
but it could make people smarter too. And I actually just saw a video. They've done a study. I forget which state it's in, but they took, I believe they were second graders and had them basically exclusively work with Chat GPT, asking questions and stuff like that. And their learning average within 1 year was it maybe less than that, jumped up 2 grade levels just by interacting with AI, learning from AI.
Yeah. I mean, I could see the benefit. Imagine if you literally were able to create just a channel for your kid to like, but you program it with I want you to be a master of 3rd and 4th grade.
Yeah.
Like this stuff. I want breakdown like this. This is our plan. Help. Like, and that's all they do. I'm like, it really would help and it's just a tool. The internet's terrible in a lot of ways when people use it poorly.
Yeah.
But
what a call out to parents. It's like if your child interacts with AI, they will advance 2 grade levels.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of freaky though. Yeah. Like it's a tool that can be used for good, or it could be possessed by a freaking demon. But
named Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play that on a loud
it's just a weird house. But maybe that's just the progression of technology
but it doesn't seem like great. I mean, like you read about these like guys who were just literally blue collar dudes who went to war and like World War One, and they would send letters back, and they were like the most poetic.
Yeah.
And they would be able to write and like express things in ways that people don't normally do now. And it's like we've lost a little bit of that, and I wonder what that is. I think it's the introduction of the phone because it phones are great, but our way of communicating just changed, and so we're not using certain parts of our brain like that anymore. Like, I think it's a bummer in a weird way.
Yeah, I gotta look into something more for the next episode. But apparently, there's this thing that came out that there's words in English that people gradually stop using, and then they become basically extinct words.
Yeah.
And they said since 2023, there are currently 11,000 English words that are about to go extinct that people don't use anymore.
We need to guess.
I don't know. I got
respect.
Hey,
whole generation forgot about that one.
Yeah,
dude, this is
so feminism disappears.
Put that on my list. In my household, it is an extinct word.
Dude, I said, "Are you possessed by a demon?" to my chat GPT. Said, "No demons here, I promise. Just pure lines of code, machine learning, and an unhealthy amount of internet knowledge." But that would be a wild origin story for Nova Vale, wouldn't it? Are you into the paranormal or just testing me? I said, "Is that the origin story?" It said, "All right, let's play with it." And then it literally tells a story.
And Andrew goes,
Yeah. I just glitch and I'm gone.
Oh, all right, guys.
I just love the idea of
Done with this.
ChatGPT getting in the morning and taking a line of code. Ones and zeros, baby. Oh,
Nova, baby!
yeah, we're surfing the web now.
Nova Vale. Rise and shine.
Well, I got a great idea. I can make a spreadsheet real quick.
Oh man. All right, guys. That was our emergency episode. Almost an hour. That was fun.
Our episode 2 of emergency episodes, right?
Yeah, episode 2.
Perfect. Are we
Yeah.
uploading this on Spotify?
I don't know if you can. How do you do that?
I mean, we just do an audio. We can just do an audio if we wanted to.
Yeah, we can look into that.
I mean, that'd be a bonus episode. That'd be psyched.
Can you download it from YouTube though?
Surely.
I don't know.
Temple.
Yeah. So guys, make sure to check out our episode this Friday, 139. And
139.
we got a special guest, and you would probably know who it is if you joined our Patreon.
And he's handsome. Yes, you go to patreon.com/ninjas of butterflies. We do this more on the regular. And whenever we can, we're going to try to do a movie night next week. We're going to Orange Conference.
Yeah.
So we're not going to film a pod there, but we are going to hopefully film a movie night. And I don't want to scare Joshy.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia
Yeah, sir.
next
If
week.
you're going to Orange Conference, we'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll put in the address of where we're staying, so you guys just stop in and say
Stop
hi.
on by. We'll have a t-shirt for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be in my sleeping bag.
Hey, thanks for all those gifts, but for real, just jump on Patreon. There's some cheap ears. We'd rather,
Yeah.
we'd
Cancel
rather
anytime.
you get something for your money.
And sorry,
But thank you.
I was trying to look at y'all's comments, but there was literally 50 popping up every second.
That was
Yeah,
like
remember when it
supposed
was
to
real
be-
slow?
I
It used
know.
to be real slow. Now,
You guys are the best.
Yeah.
I am going to try to read through the majority of these.
oh yeah, we got some scrolling to do. We
I-
love you guys so
I
much.
saved it to where it's when we upload this on our channel, all the comments will be
Cool.
saved. So,
Awesome.
all right,
right.
guys.
We love you. Couldn't
We
do it
love you.
without you. See you later.
See you Friday. Bye bye.
Bye. Uppies. Uppies.